Hi, second grade superstars. I am going to give you a challenge from now on every time I read. I'm going to place Harrison in a different spot. And yesterday he was on my couch. And today, obviously, he's, where, so you can find him. So every day I'll probably put him in a different spot for you to find him while we're reading. And then I wanted you to take a look at the cover of Humphrey, because Humphrey has on a deerstalker hat. And that's what Mrs. Brisbane said all good detectives wear. So here we go. At the end of the day, helpful Holly raised her hand again. "We need our homework assignment," she said. A lot of other students tried to shh her, but Holly was determined. "Mrs. Brisbane always gives us homework." Mr. E replied that he had a big surprise for the class. The only homework assignment was to bring in a riddle or a joke for the next day. "You don't even have to write it down," he said. Then he tapped his finger on the side of his head. "Just remember it up here." It was a pretty strange homework assignment, but then it had been a pretty strange day. When the bell rang, my friends all looked happy as they left the class. "Bye, Mr. E," Thomas said on his way out of class. "See you tomorrow." "Bye, Momas," Mr. E said. I thought he was mixed up until I remembered the song. I heard Hurry Up Harry tell Slow Down Simon, "Pretty sweet, no homework, dude." "Mr. E is a great teacher," Simon said. "He's so funny," Kelsey said. After the students had left, Mr. E sighed a big relief and said, "Whew, that went well." He strolled over to the table by the window where Og and I live. "I think they liked me." "Yes, yes, yes," I shouted. "And they like Mrs. Brisbane too." Of course, all he heard was, you could say it with me, squeak, squeak, squeak. Mr. Morales came into the room. "I'm glad I caught you, Ed," he said. "Are you available to teach tomorrow?" Mr. E said yes, and then the principal said, "I wasn't able to talk to Mrs. Brisbane, but her husband said her lesson plans are in the desk." "Oh, yes, I know," Mr. E said. "Oh, good," Mr. Morales said. "See you tomorrow." The two men shook hands and Mr. Morales left. When the door closed, Mr. E chuckled. "Oh, that's good news for me." Then he opened Mrs. Brisbane's desk drawer and took out the binder with the lesson plans in it. Whew! He was finally thinking about teaching his students. When I watched him as he turned the pages, finally. Math problems, vocabulary, art projects, science. Whoa! This really packs in a lot, he said. "Yes, yes, yes," I agreed. "I don't know about all this," he said. He turned another page, and no, that's not going to work. Og started splashing around in his tank. I was worried too. After all, these were Mrs. Brisbane's lesson plans, and Mr. E seemed to like them. Mr. E closed the binder. "I'm going to have to make these subjects a lot more fun to make this work," he said. "A lot more fun." Ooh, I bet you're asking yourself, what is he going to do? He was still muttering under his breath when he picked up his big bag and left room 26. I had no idea what he was muttering about. And I still had no idea what had happened to Mrs. Brisbane. But I had a bad, bad, bad feeling that it wasn't something good. All right, here's the information in Humphrey's Detectionary. A detective without any clues is like a classroom without a real teacher.